your time with me. See, you sent your son to die for me on Calvary. You made my life to be a certain way, but you knew I was going to slap you in your face, put you back on the cross, and you still woke me up another day. But you already knew what I was going to do on last night and what my choice was going to be on tomorrow. But you still allowed that car to miss me. God, I don't understand why you gave me a child when you know that I would still lead him down the wrong way because of my selfishness. But you keep on keeping me.
Jesus. Thank you, Father.
So God, even if I say yes,
Jesus.
and God, even if I deny my flesh,
Oh, my God.
and even if I walk into my calling,
Oh, my.
I'm still afraid. Because everything that we have known for years, one day we wake up and we find out it's all been a lie. We one day wake up and realize that we are qualified. Well, the enemy says we've been disqualified. Well, the world says we are disqualified. How many times have you went to apply for a credit card and it said decline or we'll contact you by mail? But how many of y'all know when you walk to the altar, before you even lay your sins down, God has already predestined and pre-approved your approval? But God, I still don't understand, because you knew that even after I cried and started and they prayed over me, even after they vomited up the spirits that they poured off of me, even after I called out to you, you knew who was going to call my phone and what my response was going to be. You already knew that when I got that bonus on my check, instead of me blessing the house, I was going to go buy a bag, I was going to go buy some shoes, I was going to go buy some alcohol, I was going to go hit up casino, I was going to ball out. God, you already knew. But yet you keep calling me.
Yes. Lord.
Even when 15 years ago you said, I'm going to put you in this lifestyle.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave you in this lifestyle. For 15 years, I need you to walk as though you are a man.
Jesus.
I need for you to put her on your arm. I need for you to propose to her in front of everyone. And 15 years later, they waved the flag.
Jesus.
And you instantly began to be activated. Because you remember when 15 years ago I said you would walk this lifestyle only so they can identify you with this thing and watch how my glory brings you out. But for 15 years, it is no longer a habit. It is no longer something fun to do. That thing becomes a part of who you are. But God said, I made you strong enough to be able to walk in that thing. So I'm going to make you strong enough to be able to drop that thing off. So now I no longer wear Timbs and baggy jeans, and I no longer have a hair on my arm, but the desire that is inside is something I'll never be able to shake. Because if he ever let it no longer be a thorn in my side, I would no longer feel the need to worship him from where he is bringing and keeping me from. But yet, he keeps calling my name. So I don't listen no more. Because it's a little bit more easier to become that person that I was for 15 years than to accept the person that he has changed me into over the last 365 days. So I keep on going back. And he keeps on pulling me. And so when they wave the flag, this does mean war. When they wave the flag, it's time for you to step up and no longer be concerned about what you used to be. No longer be concerned about what you may still struggle with. God said, if I am for you, how much more is he than the whole world against you? So maybe I should stop looking in the mirror. Because these eyes only see the real lies that lies within, but this eye inside of my mind, this spiritual eye that I had, it sees the truth. So I no longer need to look in the mirror, but reflect on the woman of God God he has created me to be, because when I open my eyes, I see what the enemy wants me to see. I still see the flag being waved. I still see past lovers being waved. I still see past hurts being waved. I still see weed bags being waved. I still see my molester being waved. So what happens is these memories that should be fuel for me to shoot off for God are now holding me hostage, because I can't seem to forgive myself. Because maybe it was my fault that I kept letting him creep into my room.
Come on now.
Maybe I should have said something. Maybe it was my fault because I found this desire for women to be more attractive than for a man. Maybe it was my fault because I didn't call out and say, God, help me sooner. Maybe it was my fault because I could have kept my legs closed and I had a child. Maybe it was my fault because Tim's felt more comfortable than heels. Maybe it was my fault because baggy jeans seemed to be my knight in shining armor instead of the armor of God, which protects me from head to toe. See, I was confused. And where the church, where the church seems to be so loving.
My God.
Where the church seems to be so perfect.
Oh my.
As in if you ain't never did outside of the will of God. As in if you still don't have a struggle. So your flag has been waiting. But God already told us a long time ago what the issue was. And now we got to petition. And we got to beg. And we got to fight for something that we were already given the tools. We were already given the victory for. But we sat. And we sat. Not in the pews. But in our own mess. We sat. Because it's comfortable. You know what's going to happen when you dial that number. You know what's going to happen when you get that body. You know what's going to happen if you're going to spend that money. You know what's going to happen if they come over your house. I don't have any idea what he's going to have me say when he asks me to speak. I don't know who I'm going to become when I fully surrender and let go to God. I don't know how my life is going to be when I completely say yes. I don't know what's going to happen. I may have to preach a sermon on 295. I don't know, but I know that if I sit back and I sit quiet, I know what's going to happen. The enemy is going to win. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to dwindle away to nothing. I know what's going to happen. I am going to abort my purpose. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to abort my gift. I know what's going to happen. What's happening is when I am quiet, when we are quiet, we might as well wave the flag with the enemy's face on.
That's right.
Because in our silence, we are in agreement. But when we start standing up and saying, I have a voice, when we start standing up and saying, I have a purpose, when you realize that what the world says disqualifies you, qualifies you to be the man and the woman of God that God has called you to be, maybe then you'll walk. But go back. Don't just walk. Pick up your bed and walk. See, I was ashamed to say that, although my clothes had changed and I still had desires. And sometimes I would fall. I was ashamed to come and speak because this is not written. This is straight from him. I was ashamed. I was afraid. I was scared. But I learned that somebody is going through the same thing that I'm going through. So for me to hold my mouth means that somebody else is going to sit back and put back on the mask and put back on those clothes that God had delivered us from and pretend that we don't know who we are. It's not about homosexuality.
Come on.
It's not about being a drug addict.
Come on.
It's not about being an abuser. It is about a mistaken identity.
Yeah.
If the enemy can have you confused about who you belong to, he has won.
Yes,
if the
yes.
enemy can get you to sit down, he has won. If he can get you to be afraid and not walk, then your child has already lost. We don't live by what people say. We live by what we see.
Yes,
So
yes.
you're setting your children and your seeds up for a failure if they can't see the God in you. My son taught me a lesson about lying in the dead. And he reminded me that when the flag was waved, that was like the enemy said, oh, you better shut up. You better not step out and say that you are against gay marriages and knowing you live that lifestyle. You better shut up.
Oh my God. You better.
And what happened is when I had a choice to trust God in the lion's den or to not trust God in the lion's den.
Hey! Thank you.
Jesus.
So every day I wake up, I have to make a choice.
Yes.
To smoke or not to smoke.
Woo!
To drink or not to drink. To stand or not to stand. To praise or not to praise. To be real or to be fake. To be real or to be fake. If your identity is in a crisis, he has won. But if you realize that no matter where you have come from, or where you have been, or what you have done last night, or what you're about to do in the soon, if you don't realize that when the enemy plots to take you out, God not only gives an exit, but he gives a blessing for your
Hey!
obedience. And if you choose not to obey the exit, and you go out the window, there is consequences for your disobedience. So now I understand how your sacrifice is better than your obedience.
You better come on.
I understand that it's no longer about me, but I still sit back
Jesus.
and I still wait for somebody else who has gone through to step up and say,
Lord have mercy.
I still wait for God to give this purpose, this drive, this ambition, this dreams, these goals to somebody else. Because honestly, I'm afraid. Because honestly, there's a part of me that's still ashamed.
Oh my.
Because honestly, there's a part of me that don't feel strong enough. I feel as though I'm not worthy enough. And every time that I say that I'm not, God says that I am. Because that he is. And he said that he is because he is. So what more is it that we need? What more is it that you need? To say I will no longer allow my yesterday to dictate my today. And tomorrow is my understand that you are his child and that every disqualification of man is the perfect qualification for God.
Yes, it is.
Truth.